Hello and welcome to Mr. Husband, the podcast where we talk about a host of manly issues from a husband's perspective. My name is Gabe.
This is Will.
Will, I'm working on my energy again.
Bringing it back
Because we listened to the last recording, and again, I think we don't sound as interested. So we're trying to, it sounds a little absurd, but we're over talking.
Right. This is like 120%, or maybe 110, 115.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how from that one day when we really like overdid it to the last recording, like there's like a noticeable drop off in the energy.
We are like newscasters. I'm like a cheerleader right now. I'm amped. I've only had 1 cup of coffee today, but I'm going to pretend that I've had 5 cups of coffee.
All black. When you drink a coffee, is it an all black straight up, or do you like put it on the sugar and the cream?
I put a little almond milk, a little sugar.
That's crazy talk.
Is it? I don't even know what's normal. I just started drinking coffee like 6 months ago, and since then I've been highly productive.
Yeah, me too.
It's a performance enhancer.
I'm not a big coffee drinker, but all of a sudden I started to drink coffee. I think it's because I've been going to coffee shops to get some work done, and I'm forcing myself to drink coffee. But
I like the aesthetic of coffee. Like I like that world of coffee shops, and I feel like I just had to start drinking coffee to join the club.
We did it. We made it.
But I've convinced myself that I now like the taste of coffee. But anyways,
coffee is good.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you about my weekend?
Right, let's get into it.
There's not really much happened. It was not that abnormal for the average person, but it was abnormal for Vera and I because we made a point of being very active. We actually got out into the world. We went swimming again. We went for dim sum. This is not necessarily in the order that it happened, but we saw like my uncle. We went to a birthday party. We went shopping. We did physical activity like up hills and stuff.
You guys were out in the world.
We were out in the world.
Embracing the world.
And what I noticed was like, wow, getting out of your house is actually really fun. So husbands out there, word of advice, if you're a homebody, challenge yourself. Pretend that you are like vlog worthy. Because I've been watching a lot of these like Casey Neistat videos and stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, this guy gets out. This guy's active.
Right. And he's always busy.
So I should pretend that my life is worthy enough of sharing with other people.
Maybe something for you to consider. Maybe you and Vera can do it together. You guys can start a couples vlog. Just do 5-minute videos that you upload on a daily basis. Maybe not daily.
It sounds like a lot of work,
but
it's not worth my wife's time. My wife should be in the physician's office, earning cash,
earning the money, paying the bills.
Yeah, but if she wants to, her dream is to like voice an animated character.
Yeah,
she has that kind of like she should voice Meg or something in a Family Guy. Like that. That's who she should be. So hopefully, maybe I'll write a cartoon like for her, and she can star in it.
You cast her, for the voice.
We can get lifetime royalties and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, get on it, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you guys were pretty busy. That's always a good thing. I feel like for Chris and myself, the one big highlight, there wasn't too much going on, but the one huge big highlight was we attended a friend's wedding on Saturday. And it actually happened to be at the exact same place where we met, which was here in downtown LA, the public library. So Christine's law school friend got married. And I think the point that I kind of want to get across on this story is sort of like the whole nostalgic moment of looking back how we both were. That is like Christine and myself when we first met, and like how much we've grown through our relationship and kind of going back to a very familiar place. And it's kind of a nice feeling. Like we both had this moment of, wow, it's such a weird thing for us to be back here as a married couple many, many years later. And I think it's just one of those things that, whether it's, you and your wife or your significant other, if it's wherever you guys might have first met, or maybe it's one of the places where you had your very first date, I think a lot of people can relate to this idea that if you go back to those sorts of places, like it brings back certain sort of thoughts or memories of the relationship.
Especially if you're in trouble with your wife. Take her to where you met and remind her.
Get romantic, right? Bring back all the good feelings.
We should preface, you met outside of a library or in the library or whatever, but there was no like book study involved. There was no reading of any kind.
No books.
In all of these instances, everyone's been going to the LA library. They're never actually using it for its main purpose.
That's true. Actually, I don't even know if it's part of the actual library. We're using the part of the exterior facade of the library as backdrop. I think the actual wedding or the event is part of a cafe or / garden that's there.
Shout out to Real Books, by the way, because I have a Kindle, and unless they become a sponsor for us, I really enjoy real physical books.
Oh yeah, me too. I have 4 library books in my car right now that I need to return.
Wow, that's
going to happen right after this episode ends. But anyways, that was sort of the highlight moment of our weekend. And yeah, I would encourage all of our listeners kind of think back to a moment in time when maybe there's a particular place that if you went back with your wife or your loved one, might bring back certain memories or thoughts. Mm-hmm. So give it a shot.
I like it. Well, let's talk about baby names because I'm at this point now. Vera just passed the 6-month mark. 3 months to go. Baby's in the oven.
Have you guys started thinking?
Well, okay, so we've started thinking. First of all, we don't know the sex of the baby. We don't want to know.
Right.
So we have to think of 2 different sets of names, unless we go for the whole gender neutral. But I don't want to do that. So it's we got to think of 2 different sets of names, and these names are so important with kids. And I don't totally know where to start, but Vera and I do have names for if it's a girl and if it's a boy, but I'm still I'm a very regretful person, so I'm willing to constantly second guess myself. So I'm still thinking about it. If I can trump my name, I'm gonna think of better names.
Do you find that between the 2 of you, you're coming up with a lot of names? Is it Vera that's coming up with a lot of names, or you guys just kind of have open conversations at the same time? Hey, let's throw in more names in the bucket.
Vera has some ideas and stuff like that, but I feel she's very willing to settle quickly.
Okay, because
I'm no, let's vet this. Let's totally run it through the ringer. Can this name be teased?
Right.
Does someone else have this name?
Yeah.
How does it sound with our last name?
And those are really big, important filters, actually. And this is something that, Christine and I just sort of do for fun. Not that we're having a...
Whoa, do you already have baby names?
No, and there's no big announcements yet. But,
okay.
Well, we just for fun, we will have these sort of conversations about what sort of baby names would we come up with. And there are some very obvious filters that we've defined for ourselves.
Ooh, share them.
So one of them is going to be, if there is someone in our personal lives, people we know, either a coworker or ex-coworker, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, just someone you don't like,
current mistress,
people named Donald Trump, maybe I don't know,
don't go there.
That's how you are.
Yeah,
there's just certain names that will never make the cut, and it's because you just have a really bad association with that name.
You just made me really scared to meet someone with the name that we have currently picked for our child.
Right, who might be a
seedy
person.
What if I really like this person, right? And I'm I want you to be my friend, but maybe I'm going to shun them from my life so that I can name my child the same name that they have.
It's a possibility. Okay. Real consideration.
Maybe that's why I can't find any friends.
Everyone
wants to name their child Gabe. Yeah.
Do you actually know another Gabe?
No, but it is climbing the ranks.
Is it?
This is another thing. It's you think your name's rare,
but it's not.
But it's not.
That's
it was rare.
I thought that
it
way
was
too.
Rare when I was born. Your name is definitely not rare.
It's definitely not.
First of all, your last name. There are how many people with your last name?
I couldn't be any more ubiquitous unless my first name was something like David.
Okay,
David Kim. Which there are plenty of David Kims out there.
There's a lot of Kims in Korea.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of William Kims.
There are. So when I was growing up, I thought I had a very unique name. Because at least for my parents' generation, I don't know that there was many other Korean parents who would have thought to have come up with the name William for the Korean baby.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I kind of want to, just a couple more filters that Chris and I have sort of identified. There's some people that we don't really like to associate with. Those names are off the list. Another one is...
Adolf. Not going to be on there.
Adolf probably not.
We were looking at a house on Adolf Street.
You couldn't.
And it I think it knocked $10,000 off the price just with the name. So we didn't end up buying that one.
So that would be a no-no. A good nickname ability.
Okay.
Right. So obviously they'll have sort of this full-length name.
Filipinos are really good at that.
Filipinos are good at that.
We have a family friend through Vera. His name is Emmanuel or something, right? But he's called Manny Boy.
E-Man.
Manny Boy.
Manny Boy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways.
Or like if we had a son named Marcus, not that we will, but if we had a son named Marcus, like MK, like kids would go around school calling him MK.
Okay.
I don't know if that's that cool, but anyways, like a good nickname ability, I think is pretty important.
Not if your parents give you the nickname though. You gotta plant it and make the kid think that he invented it.
Yeah, or you have to like get your friends, like your buddies from school, to kind of give you that name.
Yeah.
The last two, just one last one here is this is actually a big one for Christine. The name when you write it down in cursive form, like handwritten cursive form, has to look nice and like I guess for a girl like pretty, but it just has to be very.
Because cursive is making a comeback.
You never know. Like whatever is old is new again. There's always these cycles. So I feel like there'll be a point where people are going to really focus in on one's handwriting. But anyways, good cursive ability in terms of how it presents itself on paper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does your name? Your name? G's are hard. I feel like
G's look all right. I don't know. My name doesn't look fantastic.
I think everything looks fantastic in Gabe except for the G. The G is a hard one.
G's a hard one.
But in any event, so those are just some of the filters.
Okay, those are pretty good filters. I'm trying to think if I have any specific filter to add. Well, did we talk about the teasing thing? Because like, there's like, if your name can be teased.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
I don't want that. I'm trying to think of an example.
You can use my name.
Okay.
I mean, like kids,
let's tease Will. How do you tease
it's
Will?
been done before. You remember when Free Willy came out? The movie about the whale.
Yeah. Okay.
I must have been in. It was either like late elementary or early middle school.
Oh, that's a hard time.
And man, I got Free Willy all the time. There was a certain point where I just kind of accepted it.
Yeah.
And I embraced it.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, that's who I am, Free Willy. But for a little while, I was like, damn this movie.
It's funny how like benign that form of teasing is. Free Willy, like that's supposed to insult you, but I think when you're a teenager, anything insults you. Yeah, I mean, I like my name in the sense that it's got variations. That's a good one too. Like there's Gabriel, that's my name. But then people call me Gabe. Mm-hmm. And when up until junior high, I was known as Gaby.
Oh. So
like, that can be an affectionate name that someone close to me can call me. And like it also marks. Does Vera ever?
Not me.
Oh, yeah, you can call me Gaby. Sure, fine. But also like if you call me Gaby, you probably knew me in elementary school. So It's like a marker.
I see. It's like at different points in your life, you kind of have adopted different nicknames.
But there's a whole industry around like baby naming. Like,
yeah.
Do you think that Beyonce named her child Blue Ivy, or did she like hire a firm? And did they have a whole mood board? Did they run through all these different scenarios? Did they copyright it?
Well, I feel like there are parents who probably do something like maybe not that intense, but do something like that. Or Beyonce and Jay-Z, I want to believe just inherently because they're such creative individuals that the two of them just kind of came up with it. But
it's possible.
I won't throw it out the window that it's a possibility that there are these services that are offered.
They're also strategic business people, and they might have invested in their child brand.
Well, yeah, you know what? What if people are like in cahoots where you come up with a name and then it's something very unique like Blue Ivy, and then someone else from the agency bought the domain name blueivy.com and is squatting on it and they want to sell it back to you.
Oh, I bet they buy the domain first, which is, I guess I need to buy my child's domain. And I guess I can't name my child Blue Ivy.
No, you can't.
I can't. That
one's dumb, man.
Yeah. that wouldn't work.
Northwest, there's another one you can't use.
It wouldn't work.
Actually, here's one more filter, which is for our parents, Christine and myself. Asians, I don't know if this is like isolated to Asians, but Asians have a difficult time pronouncing certain letters in the American alphabet, or English alphabet, I should say. Mm-hmm. The R's are very hard.
Yeah.
They can't sound the R's. So whatever name we end up with has to be easy for the grandparents to say.
An R-less name.
An R-less name. God forbid.
R-less. R-less isn't also. That's a good name.
R-less.
Let me write that one down.
That is actually pretty good.
Yeah, R-less is the show on was it HBO? I'm writing it down. None of our listeners can name their child R-less. You're just gonna come home and I'm gonna be like, Arliss. And
Top
she's
baby
like,
name.
What the hell is that?
2017.
Arliss. I thought of it because I wanted a name that Asians couldn't pronounce. Okay.
Well, and I think you did a little bit of research of some of the like more popular baby names.
Okay,
Is it, like,
this is
2016?
interesting.
Okay.
So this is like mind blowing because this is like the official Social Security Administration released like the top 10 baby names of 2015. Now, when I hear these names, most of these names sound pretty obscure to me, but like they're so trendy and everyone's drinking the same, Kool-Aid at the moment. And they think they're coming up, I guess, with something that's maybe a little more unique than it turns out to be.
Okay.
Boy names. Number 1, Noah. Number 2, Liam. Then Mason. Jacob's normal. William. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Make a comeback.
Ethan, James, Alexander, Michael, Benjamin. So out of those, we got Noah, Liam, Mason, and Ethan. That's like, I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
So I'm a little worried that like whatever kind of semi-obscure name that I choose
Will become popular in about 12 months' time?
So like, yeah, like when the roll call happens at his first grade class,
There'll be 5 other kids.
yeah, there's going to be 7 other Arlisses.
Maybe you should name your kid Blue Ivy. Blue
Right?
Ivy 2.
What if there was a registry that it was like, I register the name and maybe there can only be 100 other Americans with that name each year.
Or it
It's
could be
like
like
it's taken.
or it could be like by age brackets.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're like much older, you can have the name like Noah, the 30 to 40,
But
30
you're
to
not
45.
changing your name when you're older. You're only registering it once when you're younger.
That's true.
Oh, but you're saying, I'm saying each year. I'm saying each
Yeah,
year.
yeah. So like it'll like alternate.
Yeah, so I know like 2 Noahs in my life, but now Noah, number 1 name of the year, because it's so soft looking, and it has that kind of, it's like biblical, but not like it's a biblical name that atheists can love.
Yeah. By the way,
Who doesn't love Noah, right? It's like
yeah, it's a very like harmless name. By the way, these lists, I think, they're kind of like doing a bit of a disservice to any potential parents who are trying to look for baby names. Because when these lists come out, maybe actually it's kind of helpful. Like when these lists come out, these are the names I would absolutely avoid naming my kid. Right?
that was my thought.
Yeah.
But it depends, And then another thing is like, there's like obviously a whole industry around this. There are baby naming books. In fact, if you go to a large enough bookstore, there's like a baby naming section.
Right.
There's a whole shelf dedicated to baby naming books.
Just crazy.
Like Vera and I went to the bookstore. I didn't really want to buy the book, so we just stood in the bookstore for like 30 minutes reading baby names. But these books are actually pretty good. Like, it's...
Do they talk about like the meaning of the baby's name and all that stuff?
They're all... There's that. There's like baby names by location, baby names about love, blah, blah, blah. And another filter that we haven't mentioned yet, but is a big one, is like honoring like family members.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's a clutch one. If you can pull it off.
Yeah. Christina and I have had this conversation, which is, this was actually a part of the conversation in our episode on taking on the last name of your spouse. But we have talked about somehow injecting her last name into the baby's name. So whether it be the middle name.
That's
but yeah,
smart.
I think that's a very big element, sort of honoring someone in your family or a family name.
Vera's father's name was Bong.
Bong.
So we could do that, but
That one might be a little bit difficult for him.
the
when he
kid
thinks
might be like super cool, but it might lead him down the wrong path. So
he's going to move to Colorado.
yeah, I don't know.
Go to school in Colorado.
So we'll have to think about that one.
One last thought on this for me. So obviously, like, as parents or expecting parents, you come up with these list of baby names. The baby is born. And I think to some degree, you kind of want to wait to see what the baby looks like, maybe like a little bit of their personality within the first, hour. Or I don't know what the deadline is to officially put the baby name on paper.
Like, he doesn't look like a Jeremy.
Right. So when that happens, you kind of have to X out Jeremy,
Yeah.
right? But my bigger question or thought is, I think as parents, you come up with a name and you have some preconceived notions of, okay, if it's a girl and she's Sophia,
It's shaping who she is.
Right. So you have this like you're kind of forecasting down the road, like she's going to become this sort of person.
She likes interior design.
Yeah.
She's going to go to like
She likes rustic wood.
Yeah.
Right.
She's going to go to like a college in the northeastern state.
Exactly. And so like you have these grand visions or sort of illusions is really what it is. And my thought is, but what if that kid never doesn't turn out to be anything like that? Would that be a huge letdown for you?
It's entirely possible that we are letdowns to our parents.
Very quite.
Certainly, maybe we didn't live up to the potential of our names.
I think I kind of fall in that category.
This is where the middle name is clutch, because the middle name is what they might modify their name to. Mm-hmm. So you got to be really in love with that middle name too, because they might audible and be like, "No, I don't want to be William. I want to be what's your middle name?
June.
I want to be June.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not spelled like the month of June, but it sounds like the same as the month of June.
Cool.
William's done me fairly good for the most part of my life.
Speak for yourself, yeah.
But in any event, it'll be exciting. So, like, just out of curiosity, how long is the list you guys have so far? You guys have like equally like 10 names for a boy?
Well, no, it's kind of like we just have the names that we think we're going to call him, and we're waiting to be trumped.
I see.
I've used the word Trump like 5 times in this podcast, but that's kind of where we're at. So there's not like a spreadsheet, but then we do have one name that we kind of want to call our child, but we're really worried about being made fun of.
You can tell me in secret after
I'll
this.
tell you in secret. I wrote it out to my brother, and he like started laughing. So well, I'll tell you, after the baby's born, we'll tell all of our listeners. All right. Maybe we'll name it that.
But Arliss, keep that on the list.
Arliss is on the list.
That's actually a cool name.
Booyah.
Cool. So
there's one other point.
Yeah.
Which was the whole like, do you share the name that you're thinking of? Because it would be far more interesting to our listeners, right? If I was like, here's the names that we're thinking of.
Or if you present options and you have the audience pick the name for you.
That would be really cool.
I don't know if you guys
have our 10 listeners pick. That would be possible. But it's like there's that classic Seinfeld episode where George has this name. He's going to name his child Seven in honor of Mickey Mantle. He tells his friends this, and they end up naming their child Seven. And this is before George even has like a baby in the works, right? So he can't name his child Seven first. They steal his name.
Yeah, you got to keep it a secret.
You got to keep it a secret. Because I might pick the name that you're thinking. So I don't even want you to tell me the name so that you know I'm neutral.
Arliss. I'm taking Arliss. If you don't take it, I might take it.
Yeah.
Cool. So switching gears just a little bit. Gabe, over the weekend, I kind of shared with you this article that came out. It's not really, it is an article, but there was a study done by a Harvard researcher. And I'll give her kudos. Her name is a sociologist at Harvard by the name of Alexandra Kilowald. Oh, talk about names, Kilowald.
Yeah.
In any event, so
we're getting scholarly up in this podcast.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit of fun and non-scholarly stuff, and now we're getting to a little bit of knowledge for your brain.
So you just gave people an excuse to stop listening.
No,
you implied that it wasn't going to be fun.
No,
we're going to make
this
this topic
great
fun. I'm going to make this topic fun.
It'll be great fun. All right, so I'm going to try and just like rattle through some of the key points. On our next Facebook post, as well as on our website, I'll put links to the formal article and the research. But
sound excited when you're summarizing this article.
Okay, I will do my best. All right, so the key finding, the headline finding in all this is that husbands, and you and I can definitely relate to some degree relate to this, but husbands who don't play a typical breadwinner role are more likely to get divorced.
We can relate to this?
Well, we can relate to the fact that
my 2 previous wives.
Yeah, husbands.
I can't relate to this at all, Will. I like how you're like to play a non-breadwinner role, aka are unemployed.
Unemployed.
Okay.
Like not
who don't have a job.
Not full-time jobs. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this researcher, Alexandra, right?
We're more likely to get divorced.
More likely to
don't
get divorced.
Have a job.
And it's not. And she cites because she controlled for this particular variable, but it doesn't have anything to do with the fact of the financial reasons, like how much money is being brought into the house. It's purely this sort of notion of the man sort of being that breadwinner.
This isn't the case if you reverse it, right?
Right.
If it's
isn't.
the woman who doesn't have a job, you're no more likely to get divorced.
Yeah, absolutely. And so she also did a little bit of like then versus now comparison. So prior to 1975, one of the biggest reasons why couples got divorced it had to do with the women's share of housework. So, and it had to do with this expectation of, at the time, like the man did go out and work, and the expectation of the man for the woman was that she had to be at home, take care of the family, take care of the cleaning and cooking.
She went to work. Her work just happened to be in her house.
In her house, right? And if she didn't live up to that, up to a certain standard, or if she didn't do enough of that,
and you upgrade.
You leave her. People left them, and then got an upgrade, right? That's what happened. This is like pre-1975.
That was sarcasm, by the way. Sometimes it doesn't transfer on the radio. Okay, moving on. Yeah,
people are going to interpret that.
It's just hard, It's
so now this is where this study kind of comes into play. Since 1975, after this person looked at all the data, that whole scenario is less the case in terms of leading to causing or divorces, and it's less the case. I think obviously because from a cultural norm in terms of society, we've sort of embraced, and I will preface this by saying that I think we still have probably a long ways to go, and I think a lot of women would agree with this, but
we're not yet at utopia.
We're not at a utopia, not full egalitarian sort of society, right? But the fact that women have been able to make significant progress in terms of getting into the labor force and working. At the same time, since 1975, I think there's been, I think they mentioned that there's been this sort of understanding and acceptance of dual income households. So again, both the man and the women going out to work.
Mm-hmm. So what's the part of the reason, the summary of part of the reason why this is happening? Is it that husbands are not performing at the home? They're not doing the home chores in the way that it's like wives do?
Yeah, it's like that comparison of like men who are at home, or who are house husbands, aka Gabe and Will. We aren't living up to sort of the roles and responsibility, the level of roles and responsibilities / expectations that we would place on women if the rules were reversed.
Our countertops aren't as shiny,
right?
We don't fold as well,
right? And so, like, some of this it comes down to like the image of men being lazy, and so they might like clean a little here, maybe they'll try and cook a little bit there, but they don't have the level of commitment or sort of that full effort that women did again prior to 1975.
I feel myself already getting defensive, taking this personally.
You feel like you're being attacked.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to just skip ahead here. I mean, again, this whole idea of that, it just hasn't been accepted that men can stay at home, be housewives. It's just not the norm. And part of that probably plays into this idea of maybe men are just not good at doing that.
We just don't take it seriously enough.
Well, I just think
first of all, I don't have kids, so I already feel guilty.
Right. Well, and the interesting thing that they cited was this is not the case if a husband stays at home to take care of kids.
Okay.
So it excludes that particular subset. Okay. So you're almost there.
I should have read the article.
Yeah. You're almost there. So you kind of have an out.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's why I had a child.
You planned ahead. Okay. You knew this research was coming out.
But yeah, do you feel guilty? It's like, when you go to a party, right? And someone's like, what do you do? You're not like, I'm a homemaker. And you wait till you see my home. It is so well made. Come over for dinner.
Right.
Like, I will make you like a 3-course meal.
Yeah, I don't publicly sort of embrace or promote that I'm a house husband. I'll say stuff like, "Oh, I'm working on a podcast," or I have these like side projects that I'm working on.
I'll make up fictional things, like,
Lies,
I work
Gabe.
at Tesla or something.
But I think it just kind of backs up this fact that in society we haven't created opportunities, or we haven't created these sort of mechanisms that would allow people like you and me to be proud or to promote to our friends or just a stranger the fact that we're house husbands.
It's true. There's no role models.
Yeah. We talked about this in a very early episode, like the whole cleaning thing. There's no positive clean role model of a male.
Except for that Mr. Clean guy.
Mr. Clean.
Brawny guy. But they're not really like role models in the same way.
It's a fictional character.
Yeah. I don't see Tom Cruise like cleaning his house.
Yeah. So just kind of getting to a little of the conclusion here. I mean, they're basically saying, gendered expectations placed on both women and men can obviously negatively influence marriages. So it's kind of like saying there's sort of this negative impact on women as far as like, again, not taking care of their household before 1975. And it's now sort of the same thing with men and the fact that we don't have this sort of like societal system that allows for it.
So there's two things that we can do. One is get a job. Two is be better and prouder house husbands.
Right.
Right?
I think that'd be kind of an interesting challenge to take on. Like make that a cool, acceptable thing in society.
I think that'd be a good mission statement for the podcast, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I will say also, let's get a little defensive. Like, okay, yeah, maybe this increases the likelihood of divorce, but so do so many things, right? Like, for instance, maybe like, someone cheating.
That would be
That's a good one.
Marital affairs.
Someone not being in as good shape as the other person. Maybe someone traveling more than the other person. Different cultures, different religions. I bet you all of these things correlate with a slight increase in the likelihood of divorce.
Yeah, and I should probably clarify, this is, I don't think this person's saying this is the reason why, people are getting divorced now, but it's just like one big facet. And they're just kind of...
It's the hip new reason. The hip new reason to get divorced.
It's another out. Which I guess should be a note to both Christine and Vera.
Should we tell... Maybe we should have came with a disclaimer before. Like,
what, to not get divorced?
Yeah, or just like before our wives were cool with us pursuing this path of our life.
I feel like we were pretty open with them.
Yes.
About doing this.
That's true. No, but I mean a disclaimer, like warning, this might slightly increase the likelihood that your marriage will end in divorce.
Can we do like a post disclaimer?
This is making me feel sad, though. Both of our marriages are very strong.
It is very strong.
There is not an element in the universe strong enough to describe our marriage.
Yeah.
Not even diamonds, which are not an element, but...
Okay, I will say, I mean, I think we both can recognize a little bit of the pressure of trying to label ourselves husbands, which we don't do. But I think at the same time, at least between the sample of two here that we have in our marriages, I don't think it's negatively weighed down on our relationships with our wives.
It's true.
So
we should all preface at the start of every episode that we are not married to each other, because I think there might be some confusion. So I think it's clear, but
we have a type of marriage that's different from. It's just like a podcast marriage.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a radio marriage. That's what it is.
I didn't realize it, but it's becoming one. We've been talking we're at 33 minutes, Will.
Oh, time to close up shop here.
Let's close up shop. You were looking online at our iTunes review page.
I have.
Tell us what you found.
Ladies and gentlemen, about a week ago, maybe it was about a week and a half ago, we came across a review on iTunes that was very favorable, very nice. Thank you to that individual. I happened to check yesterday, and we've got 3 new reviews. I haven't the slightest clue who these people are. So again, like we're not asking our friends to leave reviews. We're not paying anyone. This isn't our reviews. But three new individuals have reviewed us. They gave us perfect 5 out of 5 stars. We're very
Obviously,
thankful.
you didn't even need to say that.
Yeah, that should be a given, right? But so we just want to do a quick shout out to a couple of these folks here. First one's from SB Dana S0519.
Oh yeah, SB Dana.
Wow, what a username! And I'll just kind of read their comments here. Again, just kind of giving acknowledgments for their nice.
Does this count as humble bragging, or is this just straight up bragging?
No. This is straight up bragging.
Okay,
that's cool. I'll take it. We work for it.
Go for it. Go for it.
So he wrote, he or she, we don't know. I really enjoy this podcast. As a husband, it's super relatable in a funny, not take yourself too seriously kind of way.
So we know it's a he because he said as a husband.
There we go.
There we go.
My wife likes it too. Hooray. I like that it's very conversational and laid back. It gives relatable, useful insights into their respective relationships without being preachy or overly prescriptive. Keep it up, guys.
Well-written review. That could be from the New York Times, man. Wow.
Maybe it is
so
something
thorough.
And I'll just read one more. I'll save the next one for a future episode. But this one comes from SOM66. Would that be Psalm 66? And this person wrote, "What a fun podcast. I'm actually a wife and got my husband into it after I stumbled upon Mr. Husband on iTunes. Gabe, this one's for you. Gabe reminds me of a stand-up comedian, John Mulaney. Mulaney?
I don't even know who that is.
You gotta look him up.
I have competition. There's so
you might have a career in stand-up comedy here.
That would be cool. I can't wait to quit the podcast.
No, you're not leaving. And she goes on to say, so I was instantly fond of him. Oh, damn, Gabe, you better watch out, man.
Whoa.
And it's fun to hear the other point of view, a.k.a. Will. She didn't even name it.
I can't wait to show this to Vera and get her all jealous and stuff.
Sorry, she says, and it's fun to hear the other point of view for so many of the daily things, cleaning, date nights, babies, that come up in a marriage. Keep it up, guys.
These people are proving they're really listening to the podcast. Woo! This is not a robot from Russia, man. These are real people.
There's no links in here where they want us to buy stuff either. So they're not trying to get us. They're not trying to clickbait us.
This is amazing. And we did the math. There have been 6 total reviews, all 5 stars.
Well, I feel like we might even need to quit while we're ahead.
That's 30 stars, Will. 30 gold stars.
That's very true. So thank you to these individuals. Thank you for listening to the podcast, for supporting us, for leaving this amazing comment. Obviously, you guys are the reason why we do this podcast, to be able to share our stories with you, share our lives with you guys, and hopefully make you laugh a little, maybe make you think about marriage and life a little bit. So.
It's true. Full disclosure, Will and I make $0 at this moment from this podcast, but what we do make is reviews and gold stars. So
that's what we're working
send
for.
It our way.
So yeah, thank you again. Please keep it coming. If you guys can, if you guys haven't actually already subscribe to the podcast, obviously you can go to iTunes, as these wonderful individuals already have. You can also find us on Stitcher. Subscribe to us, rate us, give us a review.
And there's YouTube.
Oh.
We are recording this. We're posting it on YouTube. So it doesn't look good. It looks a little bit like a terrorist video, but like a hostage kind of thing. But
we should have a Mr. Husband flag.
Yeah, we're going to decorate this. I said this on a previous episode. We're going to decorate, but for the moment, it's just another alternative.
And where can they find us on YouTube?
Just type in Mr. Husband.
Boom. How easy is that? And I guess with that said, there's one more thing. I feel like it's an obligatory thing to say, but find us on Facebook, Mr. Husband. We'll post some stuff there. We might give additional shout outs to these individuals on Facebook as well.
This is a lot of work for people to do. There's a lot of things.
For us?
No, I mean, we're like, sign this up. So just do one action. Just pick something.
Yeah, pick one.
Or you can make a to-do list and spend your whole day reviewing and subscribing to us.
Fair enough. All right, let's close it out. Until next time.
Peace out.
Peace out, husbands.
Oh, yeah. And peace out, wives.